Have you ever felt like you're trying your very best, but it still feels like it's not enough? What if one ordinary day could teach you 3 powerful lessons from the Bible, science, and life itself? Today, we're going to meet Lynn and see how a simple day can change everything. Lynn woke up feeling a little heavy, not sick, not tired, just unsure. You know that feeling? At school, Lynn really tried hard to get everything right, but mistakes still happened. A wrong answer in math, a fumbled ball in gym class. Back at home, Lynn sat quietly wondering, am I really doing enough? Am I good enough? What Lynn didn't know was that this very ordinary, kind of tough day was about to change the way they saw themselves forever. That afternoon, Lynn went to sit beside an older cousin who was quietly reading the Bible. The cousin smiled and started sharing the story of Peter, one of Jesus' disciples. They talked about the time Peter saw Jesus walking on the water in the middle of a storm. Jesus called out to him, and Peter, filled with faith, actually stepped out of the boat and started walking on the water too. It was a miracle. But then, Peter noticed the wind and the big waves. He got scared, his face wavered, and he began to sink. And right at that moment, Jesus reached out his hand and lifted him up. As Lynn listened, a thought clicked. Peter didn't fail because he tried and fell. He learned because he trusted Jesus enough to step out of the boat in the first place. The real lesson wasn't about walking on water perfectly. It was about knowing who to reach for when you start to sink. Faith doesn't mean you'll never fall. It just means God is always there to catch you when you do. A wave of comfort, not pressure, washed over Lynn. Later that evening, Lynn had to watch a science video for a school project. The video explained something amazing about the human brain. It said that every single time you make a mistake, your brain doesn't just shut down. Instead, it gets busy creating new connections, new pathways, to help you learn and do better next time. That feeling of frustration you get when you're struggling with something new, that's not a sign you're failing. That's literally the feeling of your brain growing stronger, like a muscle getting a workout. Lynn paused the video and a huge smile spread across their face. Wow, Lynn thought. So all those mistakes I made today weren't proof that I'm bad at things. They were proof that my brain was trying, learning, and getting smarter. The struggle isn't the end of the story. It's a critical part of how growth actually happens. On the way home from a friend's house just before dinner, Lynn noticed a classmate from school sitting all alone on a bench, looking really upset. Lynn's first instinct was to keep walking. What if I say the wrong thing? What if I make it worse? The hesitation was real. But then, Lynn thought about Peter, stepping out of the boat even though he was scared. Lynn thought about the brain, growing stronger through challenges. And Lynn realized that being kind didn't require a perfect plan. So, taking a deep breath, Lynn walked over and simply sat down beside the classmate. Lynn didn't have a big, wise speech prepared. Lynn just listened, asked if they were okay, and just stayed there, being present. It wasn't about fixing the problem. It was about sharing the moment, so the classmate wasn't alone. Kindness doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be sincere. That night, tucked into bed, Lynn thought about the day. It started with feeling not good enough, but it was ending with a powerful new understanding. The Bible story taught that faith isn't about being fearless. It's about trusting God is there for you, beyond your fear. Science taught that our brains are literally built to grow through effort and mistakes. And the moment was a classmate showed that simple, sincere kindness is what truly matters when connecting with others. When you bring these three things together, faith, growth, and kindness, they don't just make you feel better. They help you become the person you were always meant to be. The moral of the story is this: you don't have to be perfect to grow. Just have a little faith, trust the process, and choose kindness, not just when it's easy, but every single day. Now, I'd love to know, which of these three lessons did you need to hear the most today? The one about faith, the one about growth, or the one about kindness? Let us know in the comments below, and let's talk about it. If this story inspired you, please give it a like, share it with a friend who might need it, and subscribe to LifeBites TV for more stories that help kids and families grow together. We have new videos every Sunday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.